Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina. One thing that's been bugging me is Paper Trey Ink Dies and how to store them. I've done little envelopes that I just put the dies in. I've done hanging them on my Clip It Up. And then I've done this box. This box didn't work. This box was probably the worst solution of all of them because I couldn't find anything in the box. And I knew I wanted to keep them better organized and better labeled and quicker for me to reach without having to flip through tons of stuff and try to find them and figure out what is what. So I've been wanting to do a binder system, and a while ago I picked up, and this is like, I've been buying these things little by little. I had been at Staples and I picked up these 4x6 photo pages for a 5.5 by 8.5 album. And then I also picked up another time these business card sleeves for the same size album. And then the other day I picked up the 5.5, the full sheet protectors, which is 5.5 by 8.5. So I started to, before I picked up the full sheet ones, I tried this system and everything kept falling out. So I knew I wanted to try like maybe magnetic sheets. I was at AC Moore and I had my 50% off coupon with me, and I went back into like where they sell the wooden stuff, and I found that they have magnetic printable sheets. And I thought, perfect. They're not very thick. Let me see if I can get you one out here. They're not very thick. As a matter of fact, you can cut these on your paper trimmer. So that's how thin they are. They're just, you know, like a thick cardstock, shiny cardstock. And the magnetic is pretty good on it. It's not really bad at all. And like I said, you can cut them on your paper trimmer, which was even better. So what I did was I started cutting these down to fit my business card size, which is, I think it was like 1.5 or 1 3/4 by 2.5 or something like that. I just measured and figured out the size, and I got a lot out of one sheet. So I went the 1 3/4 this way, and then I started doing my 2.5 the other way, or whatever that dimension is. So don't take that for sure because I'm not 100% sure. And so what I started to do was I picked up a binder, and now I have a binder to keep my dies in. And these are just strictly Paper Trey ink, although I do have a couple stuck in the front cover here that are not Paper Trey ink. So the front pouch here, I was able to put this really large die. This is the biggest one I have, and it didn't fit in any of my envelopes, so I just thought, perfect, I could stick it right there. And my one and only MFT Dynamics die set is right in the front. And then I have another die right there. But this was my storage solution. What I did was, for the smaller dies like the fillable frames and some of the other smaller sets, I cut the magnetic to fit inside the slot, and then went on Paper Trey Ink's website and copied the image that goes with the die. So I have a little tag here that says fillable frames #1 and the picture of the die, so that if I ever take a whole bunch of these out at one time, I could just look at the image on the side and put it back in, and then I'll remember what die set it was, especially when I go to post, you know, my supplies list on my blog. So I did that with all of the smaller ones. The only thing I did have to do, especially on the top, because the top is pretty heavy, is I had to staple the die in, or the magnetic piece inside the holder. And I just used my tiny attacher, my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and just did staples right on each one of them. I figured I might as well be safe than sorry and staple all of them. So that's what I did. The white side of it is not the strongest magnet, but it was good enough to hold a single one. I would not recommend doing too many, and I'll show you further in my book one that I did hold die set, and it doesn't hold it at all. So, but the black side holds perfectly, and the white side, if you're holding maybe just one die set, die or two dies, it'll work. So that's what I did for the business card size. So then I had the 4x6 photo size, and what it is that this sleeve right here in the middle is open where the 4x6 photo goes, and then it also has a section right here that's open where you could slide something in, and a section in the bottom that's open. So I wanted to get the most out of these, and what I did was I just sewed straight across on some of them so that I could put more than one die set in. So let me show you what I did there. So this is one of them, and you can see that I did a stitching line straight across. And now I have two die sets. I have one die set up in the top with my tag that shows the image and what it is, and then one down the bottom that does the same thing. So I got a lot more use out of the 4x6s. Some of them, like this one, was a 4x6 sleeve, but I didn't do the sewing on this one. It's just a straight piece, and then I just cut my die to fit. Get back in there. There we go. I just cut my die to fit and then put my tag on the top that says what the die set is. So some of them, again, I did the 4x6 or did the sewing, or I did the straight 4x6. So then I have some of them that are in the full sleeve. Like even this 4x6 even holds the edgers dies, which is like was perfect for that one. Some of these larger ones didn't exactly fit in the larger sets. Like this one I was hoping would fit into a 4x6, but it didn't work. So I did a full sheet, and a full sheet protector is actually just a half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of the magnetic piece. So I also did my little guide right here that shows me the name of the stamp or the die set and the picture of the dies. And some of them, like this one was a single one, so I was able to kind of put it in there. Like I said, it doesn't hold the best, but it's good enough to hold maybe one die. This is Limitless Layers, so there's a couple dies in that one. And this was what I was going to show you. See, these are really heavy, so it doesn't, some of them don't stay in place, but it's good enough. It keeps it where it needs to be. These are the matte stack dies. There's 3 pieces to that one, so I put them all in this sleeve. And these are a couple of the other matte stacks that I plan on getting, you know, the other parts too. This was Banner Builders. This is actually 2 stamp sets, or 3 die sets. It's Banner Builders, the banner border edges, and also the double end banner. They were all the same. They're all from the same kind of like category, so I just put them all in one pouch. And then I have my long edger dies, or not edger, but the long border dies. So those are in here. And in the back, I just put my plate that we use for cutting felt and stuff like that. So that was my storage idea for my Paper Trey Ink Dies, and it worked great. I have done the nestabilities using the magnetic strips in a binder or a book on chipboard, and that did not work at all. The dies fall out constantly. So I knew I wanted to have them in some kind of protector to keep them. So now I could just put this right on my desk, and I'll have my dies right in hand, and it doesn't take up as much room as that box did. And I wanted to share with you too quickly, a little while ago I had shared on video my stamp catalog, and I just wanted to kind of show you quickly that how much, it's actually done now. I'm at the point now where I just keep up with it. So I have all of my Paper Trey Ink Dies, and I took all of the images from their websites and printed them out. I had originally been stamping all of these, and somebody said, don't stamp, just print them out. And I'm like, oh, very smart. So anyway, so I have my Paper Trey Ink Dies. I have my Lawn Fawn, now I'm going to keep saying dies. I have my Lawn Fawn stamps and guide in here, and my Technique Tuesday. I just recently joined the Technique Tuesday Stamp of the Month for Allie Edwards, where they're sent to you automatically because I absolutely love her sentiment stamps. I have my Close to My Heart ones, and then I have just miscellaneous ones back here in the back. So this was, these are all of my stamps. This is every single stamp set with the exception of my old Stampin' Up! Dies, or dies, my old Stampin' Up! Stamps I have in my catalog. Anyway, just wanted to share with that with you if you have any questions. Just a quick side note, the magnetic sheets, I told you I got them at AC Moore. I know Avery does have their own brand. I don't know where you would buy it. I looked at my local Staples, I didn't see it, but I know you can order them online. The only thing is I don't know, this one, these don't say how many milliliters and the weight of the sheets are, so I don't know anything about the Avery ones, but I think they would work. And also, the Cricut magnetic sheets would work too. Those are 12 by 12, but they're a little bit thicker than these sheets here. So, but anyway, just wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.